Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Fantasy NBA today with the GOATs, your boys, Rick Kamla and Steve Alexander, FSWA Hall of Famer. We are about to dive into a preview of Tuesday night slate. Before we do, we want to tell you about our sponsor, BetOnline. They continue to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. They have the largest selection of odds in everything from football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, and UFC. BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers to hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, as we look ahead to Tuesday night, we get a battle of the boroughs, and I got a quick take for you. We love the reunion game angles. I don't know. You tell me if this is a revenge game, but it's Mikal Bridges. Spent a couple of years with the Nets before coming over to the Knicks. I say take the over on his point prop here. He never misses a game. He doesn't get tired. Back-to-back is not a concern here. And you got the former team angle. He's in Brooklyn. It's a great matchup against a shorthanded team. So how are you feeling about Mikal Bridges on Tuesday night?
I like it. I think it's a good call. You said the Nets are shorthanded. They're extremely shorthanded. As in, no Zaire Williams, no Cam Thomas, no, Ben Simmons and D'Angelo Russell. I don't know exactly what their status will be at that time, but, man, I miss Cam Thomas. I'm missing Cam Thomas. But, yeah, I think Bridges is going to be like, look what you guys had and didn't really use me the right way. I think he's going to go off.
This is what I feared with Cam Thomas, Doc. I knew that the points per game were going to go way up. I feared big, massive chunks of DNPs. I think you did. I think a lot of us did. And that's what we're getting right now. Will Cam Thomas play again this year? I don't know. Maybe he makes a cameo, but it probably won't be much more than a cameo if it's even that. Doc, are we still holding on to Keon Johnson here? Cam Johnson's back. D'Lo and Simmons are flirting with playing until they go ahead and shut them down, but they're not shut down yet. Are you holding on to Keon Johnson, who was a thing, and now he's trending towards not being a thing? Where are you at with him?
I'm still good with him. I don't like his minutes the last couple games. They've been down. The production's been down. But, I mean, at some point, Brooklyn just has to pull the plug on all these guys and let the kids go, right? I still feel like Keon is going to be fun to have in the silly season, but it could be rough as long as Cam Johnson is still playing. You guys keep telling me Cam Johnson's a shutdown candidate, so I'm cool with hanging in there with Keon until that happens.
So I'm not, Doc. I'm sending him to waivers right now with the knowledge and the assumption and the hope that I'm going to pick him back up once these guys are shut down. But I'm a lily pad hopper, Doc. And right now, the goodies aren't there from Keon Johnson. And D'Lo and Simmons are playing. Cam Johnson's playing. I don't know, man. I get itchy, like Stephon Castle's doing things in San Antonio. I'm trying to think right now. I forget who I picked up earlier today. You know, I've been picking up Scoot Henderson. I think that ship has sailed with the big games he's been having here. But I'd rather lily pad hop to another guy right now. And then when guys get shut down, I'll circle back to Keon Johnson. So I am sending him back to waivers.
I'm cool with that. It just depends on who it is, who's available on your waiver wire. If somebody's available that's playing better than Keon, go get him. I mean, I'm fine with that. I think that Keon is going to be doing some special things once we get into February and March.
For example, Isaiah Collier. I've been picking him up all over the place.
Yeah, he's balling.
Right? To me, go ahead and drop Keon Johnson for Isaiah Collier, who also has that league winner, silly season type of look to him. That's the guy that I was was escaping me. And as Isaiah Collier had a big game on Monday night. So it's Cam, it's Doc, it's the OGs here, bringing you the Fantasy Goodies pregame style, preview style for the Tuesday night slate. Portland at Miami. We'll shelve the Jimmy Butler stuff for a minute, Doc, and talk about Portland's new lineup. All right. It led to a win over the Bulls, 113-102 at home, snapping a 5-game losing streak. Scoot Henderson was the dude. All right. He got the walk-off interview, 25, 7, and 8. There were other goodies. Tumani Kamara started, didn't do much. Denny Abdia started, 20, 12, and 3 assists. He had other goodies. And then Jeremy Grant started as well with 18 points, okay? So they went with a 3-forward point guard, center DeAndre Ayton look, who went 15, 13, and 2. Good game from DeAndre Ayton. Shaedon Sharpe came off the bench, 23 points in 33 minutes. Anthony Simons did not play in that game. Right elbow strain. He's questionable now going into Tuesday night's game against Miami, and kind of think we know how this goes, right? With Portland shutting guys down. So what do you think about this new fantasy-friendly Portland lineup?
Well, welcome back, Denny. And you're welcome for my Scoot Henderson love, because I've been on him for 2 weeks in his last 4 games of 39, 16, 21, and 25. Tons of assists, tons of steals, tons of threes, tons of minutes. He's sort of becoming the guy. And if you moved on him early, I'm telling you, I've been writing it, I've been saying it. He's going to be one of the best players in the NBA from now until the end of the season. So sit back and enjoy the ride.
That's why y'all come here, man. We give you the best fantasy analysis and predictions and prognostications because we've been doing it longer than anybody else, at a higher level than anybody else. We don't boast. These are just facts. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, Fantasy NBA Today, here on the Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball platform. I dig it, Doc. And in terms of shutdowns, yeah, that's going to come. And Jeremy Grant for sure will be shut down. I think Ayton will be shut down. But enjoy it while it lasts right now. Is it possible that Anthony Simons has a little bit of an injury, but also that they're getting him out of the starting lineup and out of the lineup altogether because he's already shown enough to maybe be traded? I don't know. We kind of want Anthony Simons to go. I'll just speak for myself. I want him to go, to a contending team so he can actually start playing some important games, free up time for these other young guys. On the Miami side, Doc, Khalil Ware, all right? Y'all got to really think about picking him up right now, okay? Last game, he went 25 and 8, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 1 3 in 34 minutes. It was a runaway blowout for Miami over San Antonio. Yes, Bam Adebayo did play in that game. Over the last week, Khalil Ware is, last week, Doc, he's at 15 and 10, 1.3 blocks, 1.3 threes. He is a tasty stat combination right now, Doc, and I wonder, with the recreation of the Miami Heat, preparing for the post-Jimmy Butler era, I wonder if Eric Spoelstra doesn't dabble a little bit with a Ware center, Bam power forward look here. Just saying, just floating that out there.
I would love to see that, man. Khalil Ware out of Indiana University, 25 points, 8 boards, 2 blocks. His last game, he's been making noise for like 10 days now. And we've been talking about him a little bit. I think Jovic, I think Jaime Jaquez, I think those are all guys you can pick up right now, kind of roll with. And you're right. We don't know how this Jimmy Butler, well, we know how it's going to end, but we don't know the specifics of how it's going to end. But this may be a blow the whole thing up and start over situation. And that could be real good news for Khalil Ware. I like it.
Doc, they've got a lot of pieces, man. I mean, I'm a Duncan Robinson fan. He had a nice game against San Antonio. But you're right. Like, they may hit the reset button and that kind of thing. But it's not like they're tanking. They have talented guys that just need minutes. Jaime Jaquez being one of them. Now, to the Jimmy Butler thing, Doc. And there was a viral deal. Jaquez made a big shot, bench going crazy. Jimmy Butler just sitting, sulking. Just not a good look. I don't really. I don't fully understand why he's in uniform playing and barely sweating for this team. I really don't, okay? The win over San Antonio, could have done it with or without Jimmy Butler. Doc, this was one of those take my ball and go home games. He had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, took 7 shots in 28 minutes, a totally disinterested game. He did have 18 in his first game after reinstatement against Denver, a game that they got blown out. Totally going through the motions. Why is he playing? And as I kind of set you up, let me just throw a couple other thoughts in here. All right. Did the league just say no to Jimmy Butler? Miami shelled him for 7 games. 7 games. That's 2 weeks. They shopped him, talked all around the league. Jimmy Butler's still a member of the Miami Heat. Did the league just say no to Jimmy Butler because of the option and he can opt in or opt out and he may be a rental player and all that buzzkill stuff? Are the Heat stuck with Jimmy Butler? Talk to me, Doc.
I don't know, man. It feels like they're stuck. I mean, every single team I've heard about him possibly going to, their beat writers are on Twitter like, he's probably not a good fit. We probably don't want to bring him in, let him mess up our locker room. I mean, Jimmy Butler got baggage, man. And everybody knows it. It's the worst kept secret in the world. And these teams, especially these contending teams that are playing well, don't really want to throw him into the middle of the mix and mess it up. So, I mean, I think they're playing him because they want to trade him and they want to show people that he can still play basketball, but 8 points in 28 minutes ain't going to do it. This is a disaster. And I think that the new trade rules in the CBA are making it so hard to trade players now. That's not helping either. And the only thing Jimmy's doing now is messing up my guys like Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic. And like, I want those guys to play. You know, I know you like Haywood Highsmith. You only got 8 minutes. So, it is a proverbial mess. And I don't know if they're going to be able to move him. Nobody wants Jimmy Butler.
I love the point you made about the new CBA because whereas 3 or 4 years ago, Doc, a team might have been like, all right, okay, I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to roll the dice here. Okay. It's a 1+ year experiment with Jimmy Butler. If you can't extend him and he opts in, it's a 1+ year experiment. I think back 5 years ago, Doc, I think a lot of teams would have been like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. Let's jump into this pool. Like, it's not a 3-year deal. It's 1+ a little bit. It's a lot of money. Let's go for it, okay? Now, teams can't do that. They can't be sort of willy-nilly and like, hey, let's go to Vegas and blow in the dice and roll them down the craps table. They can't do that anymore. It's got to be so careful and measured now. Like, it's like you got to be so careful with each step you put in front of the other. You can't, like, just kind of grip it, rip it, and swing for the fences. It's a great point by you. And it would be the most Jimmy Butler thing ever to get petty in this saga with Pat Riley to opt into his contract. If Miami cannot trade him and they get, because the last thing Miami wants him to do is opt into his contract. They want him to opt out. Right now, Doc, I believe that the Miami Heat would be happy with losing Jimmy Butler for nothing just for the financial flexibility. Right? As opposed to having to take that all the way out, he opts in, and now, oh my God, do we have to do another year with this guy?
And there's one team that looks like they might, I'm going to use improper English, like they could use them some Jimmy Butler. And that is the Golden State Warriors. I mean, the game that they played on MLK Day was disgusting. And like, Steph Curry needs help, man. Steph Curry needs help. And Andrew Wiggins ain't it. I could see Jimmy going there and at least giving them some hope that maybe they can make a run in these playoffs. Because if they don't get Steph some help, it's not happening. But outside of that, man, I don't I don't know where he would go. I don't know. Nobody wants Jimmy Butler.
He's in his mid-30s. He can't make threes. He's a me guy. He doesn't play hurt. He makes $50+ million a year. Hello, that's a lot of red flags, okay? Like, I wouldn't want to go get that, but I have been saying Golden State should go get Jimmy Butler for a while because they're desperate. Now, we want to thank you guys for listening to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast. We appreciate your support. You can help us out. Go to sportsethos.com right now while you're listening to this podcast and subscribe. Sportsethos.com. Subscribe, set it all up, and get her done. It'll be great for you. It's great for us. Subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. We're previewing Tuesday night slate. Orlando at Toronto. Doc, the Magic are desperate for a win. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. We don't know if Jalen Suggs is going to play. Probably won't. I don't know. We're just in a long absence from him right now with this back injury. I do have a point prop play for you guys. Paolo Banchero. All right. It's a great matchup at Toronto. I like that he's on the road. Star-level players have to really bring it on the road. They have to do more. And you've got a situation here where it's Toronto. I mean, it's a great matchup. And most importantly, you've got a major bounce-back factor here. Paolo Banchero is a great player. He just shot 4 of 17 and hit 10 points. Okay, boom. The law of averages kick in. He's going over on his point prop in this game. Doc, talk to me about Orlando and Toronto.
Anytime Goga's out, you fire up Wendell Carter Jr. So I think he's a good streamer. Anytime Jalen Suggs is out, you fire up Cole Anthony, another good streamer. Gary Harris, Jet Howard. Lots of red crosses next to Orlando right now. So Tristan da Silva. This could be a Tristan da Silva game as well. And of course, Paolo should go off. But yeah, whenever those guys are out, like Wendell Carter Jr. should be a strong DFS and streamer play anytime that Goga's out.
I love the take, Doc. Let me take it a step further. I don't believe that Wendell Carter Jr. is a streamer right now. I believe he's a roster guy right now. I believe he's a must-add. In his last game, he went 16 and 14 with 5 assists, a block, 2 steals, and a 3. Over the last week, he's at 14, 11, and 3, 1.7 steals, and 1.3 threes. That's not, and I'm sure Doc would agree with this, that's not streamer stuff. And yeah, he's a streamer in a lot of leagues. I'm just saying I'm looking at him as north of that. When Goga comes back, all bets are off. But Goga's not playing right now. Wendell Carter Jr. is kicking ass. I have a quick snarky comment. Go ahead.
33% rostered. Yahoo, Wendell Carter.
There you go, man. There you go. I think he should be rostered in a lot more leagues than that currently. I decided to take a shot here at 2 point guards. Emmanuel Quickly, who hates the game of basketball. He never plays anymore. He's got a hip injury. He's questionable for this game. You already know. And then his backup, Davion Mitchell. Okay, Davion Mitchell's nickname is Off Night. As in college, right? Helped Baylor win a championship. Off night, great defensive player. So if you're an offensive stud and you've got Davion on you, it's an off night. I know, funny, right? Well, guess what? If you stream Davion Mitchell, it's an off night for your fantasy team, okay? He's literally one of the worst minute to production guys I've ever seen, okay? The guy gets 30 minutes, puts nothing in the box score. I've never seen anything like it, okay? So I had to say that. Doc, question for you. Give me one streamer out of Da Silva, Black, who has several games in a row with double-digit points right now, Cole Anthony and Jonathan Isaac, who is another one of the best he is one of the best minute to production guys in the league. Da Silva, Black, Anthony, and Isaac. Pick a streamer.
I'm going to go with the ignifluous Cole Anthony. I just trust him the most. He plays the most minutes. He's locked into the job. He has the ability to catch fire at any time. I'm going with Anthony. Cole Anthony.
Okay. I saw what you did there. A tremendous adjective used by Doc right there. It is Fantasy NBA Today. Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, your boy Rick Kamla And we are ably supported by our producer, Andre Lebush. Doc, the Philadelphia 76ers play out the Denver Nuggets on Tuesday night. What does that harken in your brain? When I say Philly at Denver, what does that harken in your brain?
5 years ago, it was like, oh, sweet. I get to watch two of the best centers in the game go at it. Now it means Joel Embiid will be ducking Nikola Jokic as he does every single time they play.
Ding, 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 ding. Johnny, tell him what he's won. Joel Embiid has not played in Denver since 2019. 2019. And he probably will never play there again. Yes, it's bad. Doc, there was a time when, until like we all kind of got hip to the Embiid ducking Jokic in Denver thing, and it just ruined the rivalry. But Jokic and Embiid, the two best centers in the sport, dueling for MVPs like 2 or 3 years in a row, right? Giving you, like me at least, Chamberlain and Russell vibes, right? Even though I didn't live it, but, just that Clash of the Titans thing. And Embiid clearly doesn't give a good gosh dang about that. So Jokic and Wemby has passed Jokic and Embiid. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Troel. Giannis and Wemby has passed Jokic and Embiid because Embiid never plays. It's annoying. Let's talk some fantasy basketball, Doc, because Joel Embiid hates the game. He never plays anymore. Aaron Gordon is back for the Denver Nuggets, okay? He's pinching Russell Westbrook. And we really have a glut right now. Denver's a little bit too deep right now for fantasy, Doc, okay? Gordon's played in 4 of the last 5 games. Russ, over the last week, has gone 12-4-4. Not good, all right? Michael Porter Jr. is down to 12 points per game over the last week. Christian Brown is up to 15 points per game over the last week. So you've got a lot of guys cooking in Denver right now, Doc, and it's not great news for the non-Jokic and Murray crew in Denver.
Is Jamal Murray questionable for this game? I feel like
he's always questionable. Let me look that up, Doc. I want to say he's probable. And he's always
is he probable? I feel like Russell Westbrook needs Jamal Murray to take a night off.
He's probable. Jamal's probable.
Yeah, he's playing. That means he's playing. Everybody's playing, which means more buzzkill for Russell Westbrook, Peyton Watson, Michael Porter,
and Gordon and Porter, right?
All of them, yeah. Because like you said, there's frustrating lineups like Golden State, and then there's deep lineups like Boston, Denver, Atlanta, where they have too many guys that are all fighting for minutes. I was really enjoying the Russell Westbrook mini explosions we were getting like almost every night. Like that was fun. And I don't want those to go away, but it feels like they're going away.
You know what, Doc? We just learned that if Denver becomes collapsible in any way, Christian Brown leaves the lineup, Gordon leaves the lineup, Porter leaves the lineup, Murray leaves the lineup, any of these guys leave the lineup, Russ is going to go off, right? And he's going to be like a 26 and 8, like just crazy numbers, right? And then, but they're full right now. So I can't drop Russ yet, Doc. I can't. 10-team league, I'm dropping Russ. 12-team league, I'm not dropping Russ. Like in a 10-team league, like you know, maybe Isaiah Collier, maybe like a real hot pickup right now. If Scoot Henderson's on waivers, I'd rather get into Scoot than have Russ. But in a 12-team league, I'm still holding on to Russ. Would you
drop Russ? I would automatically drop Russ to get Scoot. Would you drop Russ for Collier? I think I might.
Yeah, I would, because Collier's looking really cozy in that starting 5 right now. And, Doc, we can't assume that these Denver guys are going to get hurt. We can't assume that. So right now, what's static is Russ is in the 6-man role and the numbers aren't great. So if a guy gets hurt, then that changes. But we can't sit here and, at least I don't base my present and future on my teams on like, well, this guy needs to get hurt. I just don't operate that way. The guys are healthy right now, so that's how the Nuggets are constructed. And so that's just, and then I make the decisions based on that.
Well, Jamal Murray is going to get hurt. We know that, but I hear what you're saying. You are correct. As long as everybody's healthy in Denver, it's gonna be a tough go for some of these guys.
Good combo, man. Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, Rick Kamla. We are the Fantasy NBA today here. Paul George, left groin tightness. Gershon Yabusele, right knee injury. He missed the previous game. Questionable for this one. Adem Bona has gone back-to-back games with 10+. I'm not looking at him like, ooh, yet. I am, though, looking at Ricky Council, Doc. Okay? He is the Paul George pivot guy. You know, kind of like Yabusele to Embiid, kind of like Portis to Giannis. He's the pivot guy, right? If George is in there, you want nothing to do with Ricky Council. If George is out, you want something to do with Ricky Council. It's that, what's your guy's name? Keaton Wallace in Atlanta. If Trae Young is out, you want some Keaton Wallace. If Trae Young is back, you don't want any part of him, okay? Ricky Council. I'm getting potential league winner vibes here from him, Doc, in silly season. Last 2 games, he's gone 15, 6, and 2. 2.5 steals with 3s as well. Talented guy. I've seen him shine in summer leagues. He had big games at the end of last year. I think Ricky Council, we got to keep him in mind, Doc. I really think he could be a difference maker down the stretch.
On this Philly run to the playoffs, is it happening? I mean, even if they get in, dude, they're not going to be a high seed. They're not going to be favorites to do anything. They're still on the outside looking in. They're 11th in the East, and they're not even that close. They're 2 full games behind the Bulls, and the Bulls are not very good. So, yeah, Ricky Council could be a silly season thing, especially if George shuts it down, which if Embiid's not going to play, I don't know why George is going to play.
So Philly's not going to tank, Doc. Their first-round pick goes to OKC, and Philly is at number 8 in the lottery standings right now. I mean, Oklahoma City, right? Like Oklahoma City, this team. They're going to, at the 8th pick right now, Oklahoma City, via Philly. Unreal. Absolutely unreal, the embarrassment of riches OKC has right now, Doc. Like Doc said, like, Philly's not going to shut it down. They're going to try to scratch and claw and get to number 10 and make the play-in tournament, okay, and keep hope alive because there's nothing in it for them to lose, okay? But Paul George may just go ahead and miss 2 months, okay? And so Ricky Council may be a big deal. Hold that thought, okay? Want to tell you to download the Sports Ethos app. Please go ahead and do it. Go to your app store and download the Sports Ethos app. All the tools included to give you the edge in fantasy basketball. Go to your favorite app store and dominate by downloading the Sports Ethos app. It is free right now. One last game to tell you about on Tuesday night. It is Washington at the LA Lakers. And be careful, Lakers. Be careful. Be very careful with this game. This has trap game written all over it, okay? It's Washington. They suck. They've lost 10 in a row, okay? Doc, as I'm riffing here, can you look up the point spread on LAL and Washington if it's out? I bet it's 10.5, 12.5. I bet it's a crazy number, okay? Here's why you've got to be careful. Washington goes into most of these games not giving a single shit about these games, except this one, all right? This is the Kyle Kuzma Bowl. Dig it? Go over on his point prop, people. You'll thank me later. Over his last 5 games, he's gone 6, 22, 5, 22, 13. The pattern is that he's going to have an upward swing, okay? And he played with the Lakers, helped them win a championship in the bubble. He will be fired up for this game, okay? This is not just another go through the motions, we suck game for Kyle Kuzma. He's going to go out there and try to kick ass, all right? Jonas Valanciunas, Doc, okay? Previous game, 23 and 12 in 23 minutes. On the season, JV is at 12 and 8 in 20 minutes. He's one of the best per-minute players in the entire NBA. There have been rumors about Jonas Valanciunas being either free agent added last summer to the Lakers or traded to the Lakers. This is an audition game for Jonas Valanciunas, okay? LeBron James was just talking about adding bigs in the locker room after the Clippers loss, okay? So I like the double-double prop on Jonas Valanciunas. You should get good odds on that. But, Doc, this is not just another game for Valanciunas. This is not just another game for Kuzma. And I think the Wizards are a very dangerous dog here. I do.
Yeah, that's a good call. And they're getting 12.5 or 13, depending on where you go. That's a lot of points. And Kuzma's going to try to show them up. Unlike Portland and some of these other teams, like Washington's been pretty decent at tanking, right? Like they're doing a good job. But even teams that are purposefully and with no shame about it tanking still like to get wins every now and then and remember what it feels like to win a game. And I think you're right, man. This is going to be a game they're going to try to win. And maybe that means we get something from Bub Carrington. He's been terribly disappointing. Who's the dude on is it Kyrie? Who's the guy that Washington has that we like?
Keyshawn George?
Keyshawn. Yeah, Keyshawn. He's been playing well. Bilal Coulibaly's been playing pretty well. So, and like you said, Jonas and Kuzma. So I like the take, man. I think it's good.
So on the Lakers side, Doc, I like Anthony Davis over on his point prop. It's a great matchup against Alex Sarr. I mean, a phenomenal matchup, right? I mean, I don't like Alex Sarr, but he's a rookie. Anthony Davis is going to be spinning around him, dunking on him, and teaching him new tricks, right? And then you got Valanciunas, who's really a solid player, but too clunky and methodical, for the spinning, whirling dervish and all the athleticism that Davis brings. Really good matchup for Davis. And in his last game, Doc, he shot 5 of 14. He had 16 points in that loss to the Clippers. So I love the bounce back factor with a guy like Paolo Banchero, with a guy like Anthony Davis. Great players don't go out like that. They don't suck 2 games in a row, especially when that next game is a really good matchup, as it is with Banchero and with Anthony Davis. Anything else you got to add on Orlando and LAL, Doc?
There's a lot of talk about or Washington and LAL. There's a lot of talk about Kyle Kuzma going to Sacramento. This game's in California, and this would be a good time for him to bust out a 30-point, 10-rebound special as an audition for some of his California brethren. I like the take, man. These are good revenge angles you've got tonight.
Do you see the look on my face right now?
Yeah, well, did I make you mad?
No. Why would Sacramento want anything to do with Kyle Kuzma?
I just keep seeing it. I see it everywhere.
Can you please help me understand who's going out? How does it fit?
Destroy
you have
Keegan Murray
and DeRozan and Monk and Herter and Fox and Sabat. How? How does Kuzma fit?
He doesn't. How does DeRozan fit? He doesn't.
Bingo.
But that's the talk, man. So
you're going to trade Herter and Devin Carter and go get Kuzma? More offense for the Sacramento Kings. Like, dude, they should just go get Mike D'Antoni. Pardon me, Doug Christie's my guy, right? I mean, just go get D'Antoni. If you're just going to get like 8 offensive dynamos, like, what's the freaking point? Just roll the ball out there. Keon Ellis can't get with that noise.
I hear you, dude. I'm just repeating what I keep hearing over and over again. It's Kuzma and Sacramento.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
All right, Doc. We are through here with our breakdown of Tuesday's slate of games. Good luck, y'all. We talked some ATS. We gave you some point prop advice. We gave you some waiver wire advice, some starting lineup advice, and all that jazz, man. We appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. For Dr. Ray, for Andre Lemouche, I'm Rick Kamla. Doc and I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday night, right after the games. Catch us live on the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Find us on the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. Tell your family members, your friends, your enemies, even the cop that pulls you over. Tell everybody about this great podcast, because this show is proudly presented by BetOnline.